Welcome back, travelers. I'm glad to see you made it. I'm Colo, and today we're going to be talking about a bag exploit that still works in patch 7 of Baldur's Gate 3. I will tell you right up front, this bag exploit does not work nearly as well, as predictably, or as conveniently as the other one did. So it is a straight up downgrade of a strategy from the one we've been using, but unfortunately patch 7 fixed the one we've been using, so we can't use it anymore. If a better way than this is discovered, I will make another video talking about that, but I want to cover a couple ways that you can still get vendor items without having to gather up every piece of garbage that you find in your hundreds hour-long playthrough and add an additional 20 to 30 hours to that playthrough. So anyway, let's get started. How do we do this? It starts out the same way. You're going to need an empty container. A backpack works great. And there's some backpacks that you can find right at the beginning of the game. So you can find some of them and use them for this strategy. You want to sell the backpack to the vendor. Then open it just like before. And this item right here is from a mod. So the price of this is going to drastically change the amount of gold that this is going to give me, so I'm not going to include that. I will drag everything else into the bag, and then you can see this bag now weighs 241 pounds, and it has 10,800 gold worth of stuff in it. So that sounds fine and dandy. That's great. Now we have access to all this dude's stuff in this bag, but what do we do with that? Well, if you take a character and level them up, so say we went back to town, talked to Withers, respec the character, and dropped him back to level 1. Every time that character levels up, the vendor's inventory is going to restock. And I'll show you that on screen right now. You can see as I'm leveling these characters, the vendor's inventory restocks. Every time the vendor's inventory restocks, you can drag and drop that stuff back into the backpack again, making it heavier and worth more and more money as you go. And then, once you are either tired of doing this nonsense, or you want to finally get the items that you've been gathering up for ages and ages, you can knock out or kill the vendor you've been doing this with, and then loot that bag off their body. And because you've stored everything in a single bag, all of the items they were carrying should drop in that bag, which is incredibly good. Then, since the bag's going to be way too heavy to loot, you can just go ahead and send it to camp, get out of there. If you knocked out the vendor temporarily, get the heck out of there while they're unconscious before anybody else sees you. Then you can go back to your camp and sort out all your new items and stuff. When you come back, nobody there should be hostile with you. If you got out of combat cleanly and everybody was just temporarily hostile, going to camp and coming back should drop their hostility towards you, and you won't immediately be in a fight like you would have. If you knocked out an NPC and you want them to be conscious again, you have to take a long rest before that will happen. And unfortunately, that kind of prevents you from just doing this over and over and over again with the same vendor, because taking long rests will progress storyline stuff. So you're going to have like a ton of cutscenes playing and making this even more annoying as you're trying to do it if you're taking long rests in between. What I recommend is that if you want to stack up like a ridiculously huge bag full of stuff, just keep going and respecking. Respec your guys a bunch of times. Stash that bag full of so much junk, and then steal one giant bag full of stuff, sell off junk, and get funds for the rest of your playthrough. It is, like I said, way more annoying than the other exploit we were using, unfortunately. But it is still a strategy you can use, for sure. For the second strategy, everything can't be in a single bag in the vendor's inventory. So if you've already put it in a single bag, take it out. Now, I'm going to talk to this character. While I'm talking to him, I'm going to come down here to the character select. I'm going to choose another one of my characters. My main character, Allison, is still talking to Aaron. They're stuck in conversation with each other. You can see the little dialogue box right here. They're talking to each other. While he is in conversation, use somebody else to cast Hold Person on him. Since he's in a conversation, that Hold Person debuff is not going to tick down the amount of turns that it has on it. It's going to stay at 10. So he's permanently incapacitated while he's stuck like this. You see, it's not counting down. He's not rolling saves. It's not doing anything. He's just frozen. So, while he's frozen, we're going to have Lae'zel sneak, pickpocket, and you can see the stuff that she would need to roll. 13 for the potions. Got him. Got it. Got it. Just double click. Oh, she failed. Sleight of hand. Hide. And do it again. Oh, she failed. Hide. And do it again. It's very annoying. Clearly, this is way better if you have a character that's actually a thief and has higher rolls for stuff like this. Just know that you can pickpocket these important items, like the Ring of Flinging, the Gloves of Missile Snaring, Dragon's Grasp is good, Rain Dancer is excellent, Spell Thief is a really cool bow. There's a lot of cool items at some of these vendors, and if you don't feel like dealing with all the hassle of looting 9 million things, selling it constantly and doing that, you can always do this strategy. I'm just gonna stuff everything into a backpack and then beat these people over the head with a stick and steal it from them. That's basically what I'm going with. You can do this, and like I said before, if you had a character with higher actual sleight of hand stats, my Lae'zel's sleight of hand is +2. So that's not good. If you had an actual thief with an actual decent sleight of hand skill, this would be much more possible and less annoying, but it's still much more annoying than the other bag exploit we had. So there you go, ladies and gents. They're not the two best strategies, but there are two strategies you can use to still have items that you didn't farm a million hours of bullcrap to get. You can get stuff pretty quickly still. I'm still holding out hope that someone else finds a better way, and if there is a better way found, or if I find a better way, I will let you guys know. If you guys hear of a better way, please let me know, and I'll help spread the word so that everybody can start playing the game the way they want to play it again, instead of, being forced to interact with systems that you don't want to interact with, if that's the case. If you like trading and you like this whole vendor setup and the Baldur's Gate 3 systems for trading and inventory management, that's fine. Then go ahead and just play the game like normal. If you don't, I got your back. I also don't. If you're interested in stuff like this, most of the content that I'm making now is RPG/comic book style stuff, but if there's any kind of like Baldur's Gate 3 specific exploit stuff like this, I'm going to talk about it for sure. So if you guys are interested in Baldur's Gate 3 stuff or comic book related stuff, like and subscribe, and feel free to join us on the Discord. We like to talk about stuff like this, and the more the merrier. We'll be happy to have you. As always, travelers, I am glad you got to see me. Do your best to stay alive out there. Until next time, see ya.